Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so proud and happy to welcome you to this press conference called Climate Emergency Need Visionary Leadership at COP26. How can we all become inspirational leaders and role models for the effective climate action that is needed? And never before have we heard the voice of faith so strongly, and we have a strong ethical agenda being pointed to us in many speeches during the COP. Climate action is urgently calling us to overcome ethical and inner barriers and for us all to become strong leaders in our own fields. My name is Sonja Olsson. I'm moderating on behalf of Brahma Kumaris Environment Initiative, and we are an NGO, part of the faith-based community, and our focus area is mitigation and adaptation, also on a personal level, and we are very strong in renewable energy and yogic sustainable agriculture. And I'm very pleased to welcome a panel of 3 distinguished speakers. They will point out to us the shift in awareness needed to become leaders in our field and to never give up the hope of staying below 1.5 global warming. So with me here on my right side, I have Sister Jenti, additional head of Brahma Kumaris, and then Mahesh Pandya, director of Friends of the Earth in India, Friends of the Environment in India, and here to my left, Golo Pils, energy advisor to the Brahma Kumaris. So I have asked Golo to kick off this press conference. So he will start, and Golo has been with the Brahma Kumaris for nearly 40 years and is currently energy advisor to the whole global organization. And since the early 90s, he's played a key role in establishing Brahma Kumaris as one of the major single users of renewable energies in India. And so a very good example of visionary leadership. And recently, Golo also directed the construction of India One, and which he will share more about. And Golo has participated in the last 12 COPs and advocates sustainable solutions through an ethical and value-based approach. So welcome, Golo.
Yeah, Sonja, thanks very much for the introduction. I came to India 1985, and I met there a very famous leader, Dadi Janki, our late Dadi Janki. She left us last year at the age of 103. And Dadi was a real leader. And she was full of virtues, full of ethics, full of love, and full of compassion. And I took great inspiration from her and actually learned all these many, many years by watching her and seeing how she handled situations and how she inspired other people. And Dadi was also inspiring us to set up an environmental initiative. And Brahma Kumaris is since, I think, 10 years participating at all climate conferences. And Dadi has inspired us to become creators, to take care, to be innovators, to be mediators, to be motivators, peacemakers, strategists, and visionary. And we have been participating all these years, and interestingly, Brahma Kumaris is administrated by women, and they all the time have inspired us also to go into renewable energy and stay in harmony with nature, which is very, very important. So Brahma Kumaris has embarked more than 25 years ago into renewable energies, and meanwhile we are a recognized research center with the government of India, and we are having 5,000 meditation centers in India, and slowly, slowly we are inspiring them and rolling over to renewable energies, which is quite a task and takes some time. And here you can see a 400 kilowatt photovoltaic system, which we built near Delhi. And in the behind you can see a solar steam cooking system, which is almost 18 years old. All the systems are still working, and we use batteries in India because we have so many power cuts. You might know that one of the problems in India is the storage of energy, so that is one of the technical hindrances. and so we're using batteries as much as possible. Here you can see a solar steam cooking system which we installed in Mount Abu itself with help of the German government. These are 24 parabolic dishes, and this was sponsored by the German government. Here you see another solar steam cooking system which we installed in 1999, and this produces steam for 35,000 meals, and the system is running flawless. I just got an email this morning. The sun is shining in Rajasthan, contrary to Glasgow, and we produce low-pressure steam and send it into our kitchen. And here you can see the latest project we did. This is a 1 megawatt solar thermal power station, and here we actually solved the problem of thermal storage. We are storing the energy in the receivers, and we run 24 hours. It's a very fine example of a solar power station in India running 24 hours, and in the right side you can see also we installed photovoltaic, and we're feeding directly to the grid. So you can see that we also do training and education. We work with all eminent Indian institutes of technology, and we conducted more than 50 workshops in India with engineers. We train the local laborers, and we're very, very keen to introduce this technology also on the local village level. We are giving lanterns out and solar cooking boxes and so on. And in order to spread the good news and empower people, we also have set up a platform called Yogis for Future, because this was one of the messages of our leaders, of our inspirational leaders: meditate and embark and imbibe values and ethics, become peaceful on the inside and become peaceful then on the outside, become loving and compassionate, and bring that into your action. Because what you love, you don't destroy it. So we believe it's very important to change on the inside and then bring the change on the outside. So we have set up this platform, Yogis for Future, where we offer free of any charges meditation. You just can click and you can have a good, peaceful time, a peaceful experience, and then bring this peace and this love into the negotiation. And hopefully then we all bring the required change. And if we all embark on this journey of inner change and then outer change, we join hands, and I'm sure that we then can deal with climate change altogether and can create a better world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Golo. And this is a beautiful example of what can happen if a wise elder supports the younger generation in their projects and ideas. Lovely. And I've asked Sister Jenti to share next. Sister Jenti here, she's additional administrative head of the Brahma Kumaris, but also the main representative of the big case to the UN in Geneva, plus a director of our centers in Europe and Middle East. But for over 50 years now, Sister Jenti has been a diplomat for peace, with a vision and experience that is truly spiritual and global. And since 2009, she has led Brahma Kumaris delegation to the climate change conferences, and she brings the spiritual perspective relevant to climate change. And Sister Jenti advocates the need to return to spiritual love and respect for the self, for all human beings, and for all life forms and nature. Welcome.
Thank you, Sonia. And a greeting of peace to all my sisters and my brothers. Golo expressed in beautiful images and words the concept of renewable energies that we've been practicing for many years. But I want to talk a little bit about the inner awareness, because a vision begins with something that's happening inside. And when there's a shift in my awareness, then I'm able to have a different vision of the world around me. I'm able to see things in reality, but also I'm able to see things into the future. And so when I start going on that inner journey, I discover something that some of us might have a little bit of difficulty with. And that is to realize that there is a huge amount of goodness within each one of us. At the present time, we go through an identity crisis in the world, and that's also part of the problem of climate change, even though at first sound, it feels that it's two worlds apart. But in fact, it's the inner world that determines what happens outside in our world around us. And when there's low self-esteem, because I don't acknowledge the goodness that is within, then I'm not able to do very much that's of benefit to the world. But when I recognize that inner goodness, then I'm able to start expressing it in my life, in my actions, and I'm able to have an impact, not just in my immediate world, but in the wide world also. And so that vision of goodness is something that we can nurture for ourselves through time for silence, time for meditation, contemplation, prayer, whichever path it is one is accustomed to or chooses. But getting in touch with the goodness means that I'm in touch with my own inner core values. And you can see the vast difference between the goodness that lies within and the state of the world around us today. There's a lot of pretty packaging, there's a lot of very exquisite words, but the reality in terms of action on the ground is very often missing. And you can see for yourselves what's going on currently. I don't need to mention names or situations or events. And so I see that in terms of being a leader for myself rather than being a follower of someone else is what meditation also teaches us. In fact, I want to introduce a term that we use for the practice that we have, and that's called Raj Yoga. To be a self-sovereign, to be a master, to be a leader. And when I have that inner awareness of that goodness, then the vision that I have is of a world of justice for all. One of the big issues around climate change has been the subject of climate justice. And we are still very, very far from being able to achieve it. I don't know when it's going to become a reality. It's being talked about. But in my vision of a better world, it's a vision of a better world for all. It can't be a better world for one community or one part of the world, north or south or east or west. That isn't a better world. A better world is surely this one home that we all inhabit, which is our precious planet, this home which is the home not only for humans but for all forms of life. And biodiversity and climate change are very deeply connected also. So being aware of that inner goodness means that I'm able to tap into the truth, the compassion, and the harmony that lies within. And as I begin to express that through my vision, because that's the way I'll see the world, through the awareness that I have, my vision changes, my words change, and my actions also change. And I believe absolutely that we are at a transition moment in which hope is again rising. I've been at many COP events, but I feel that the faith-based traditions and organizations that are present here have contributed hugely in reminding us of our own original qualities and values, but also of giving us hope for the future, that yes, each one of us alone can make a difference. We see that all the time of amazing examples, but also when we all come together with that vision of a human family and support each other with that vision of goodness, then yes, surely we can create a better world together. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Yes. And yes, a good reminder that to be a leader of the self, but to have a vision for a better world for everybody. Our last speaker, Mr. Mahesh Pandya. Mahesh is a graduate from Lai Dalpat College of Engineering in Ahmedabad, India. And already back in 1996, he established in English it says Friends of the Environment, and in Hindi you said Parya Varan Mitra. And it's an environmental NGO and now based in Gujarat. And Mahesh is also the editor of the bi-monthly magazine with the same name since 1997 and has authored and co-authored many books and publications. And he often uses his analytical strategy to reach to the problems at the grassroots level, and has a very good connection with what's happening on the ground in India. So welcome, Mahesh.
Thank you, Sonia. Om Shanti, Namaste and greetings from India. I'm happy that about this subject, visionary leaders, and I'm coming from this country where visionary leaders born, Mahatma Gandhi. During the freedom fighter, the freedom struggle, he given it two symbols. One is spinning wheel and another is the broom. The spinning wheel means employment for each and everyone without pollution. And the brooms mean cleanliness. Today my country is having a program called Clean India Movement since 6 years. But even though waste management is a big problem, not in only my country, but overall in the world. But if you follow the Gandhi's philosophy, he given a sentence that the world has enough for everyone's need, but not everyone's greed. One hand, my Indian people are facing a starvation problem. On the other hand, the people are wasting a food and which created into the waste, dumping and all. So Gandhi given it two principles. Basically, Gandhi has given 11 principles of life. And he's telling, he's not giving a lecture. He's telling, my life is my message. And the two important principles he given is non-possession. Whatever is required, take it only. Not deposit all this thing. And second thing, non-stealing. So if I believe, if the even world follow the Gandhian philosophy, there is no need to have this kind of climate change conference. Gandhi's ideology is beyond. In 1920, 100 years ago, he lived on the bank of the river Sabarmati, and he was using only the bucket of water for the bathing and not in the river. Came outside and having a bath because he was telling the water is not for me, it's for everyone. And today, the waste management problem is because the modern economy believes that produce more and more, and then that is why the waste is generating. Now we are about the zero waste and everything. But if we follow the Gandhi's philosophy, in the early morning, 5 o'clock, in the busy schedule, at that time technology is not there. He was cleaning the street and everything. So it's a symbol. If the world is clean, the most of the problem is not remain. So I believe that the Gandhi's ideology is beyond the Paris Agreement even. And that is a visionary. And I'm really thankful to the Brahma Kumari that they've taken this kind of subject, that we have to remember our visionary leaders. And we are forgetting all these things. And we are struggling a lot of problem of the global warming and climate crisis and all. India is facing a lot of problem on the waste management. Because the movement is there is a stringent 5 rules. Plastic rules, biomedical waste rules, domestic rules, construction waste debris rules, hazardous waste rules. But even though we are facing a problem. But if you follow the Gandhian philosophy, do not consume more than whatever you required, then there is no waste. And then there is no problem of the waste management. So always he is using the minimum use of the natural resources. And he is given one example of the small pencils. Use up to you can, because the pencil use graphite, wood. So you have to cut the tree, graphite means so you mine the minings and electricity. But if you use whatever you can, then there is no waste as well as there is no production, so there is no air pollution, there is no climate crisis. So that is why Just I am appealing to the even to this platform to the world leader even and people of the world that follow the principles of Gandhi, use minimum resources and live a simple life. So this is the message. I am really thankful to the Brahma Kumaris. The Brahma Kumari mission is also visionary. I visited number of times Brahma Kumari because I am getting a new inspiration of life and all, the simplicity. And I think Brahma Kumari is the first organization who started the solar, this thing. Millions of the rotis they are preparing by the solar energy without asking a carbon credit. So I am thankful to the Brahma Kumari even, and thank you Sonia ji for giving me a chance to in this platform.
Thank you very much. Beautiful. And I think we have 3 examples here which say my life is my message. And for all of us, we have to work in that way. My life is my message. And I'll open up for questions if there are any questions. And also I know there are people listening online, so it's possibility to ask online also. So the mic coming here to Alan.
Hello, I'm Alan Bigelow from Solar Cookers International, and really enjoyed all of your words today. Thank you. And my question is about the hurdles for acceptance of the solar cooker. And we're finding some best practices globally for that. But since you're here together today, maybe you have some additional insight that you could share from the faith-based community. The concept of the stewardship of the earth, and has that been helpful in spreading the usage of solar cookers because of the care for the planet? Is that part of the Brahma Kumari message in distributing solar cookers, and how has that gone? I'd love to hear a few more words. Thanks.
I think I give that to Golo. Is the question clear? Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the question. And indeed, it's not always easy to introduce the clean technology and replace the fossil fuel-based technology. When I came first to India, there was a big problem in Mount Abu of deforestation. And apparently there was a law that every day you could take a headload of firewood out of the forest for your own needs. But it became, as far as I understood, also a little bit of a business that many people went inside, came up with a headload of firewood and sort of sold it in the market. So to introduce new technology, also deal with the mindset of people. And that's where it comes to awareness. And so I think 2 things are important in order for this transition. One is education. Start with the school children, start in the kindergartens. And the second thing, the availability of that technology on a large scale. So once education is there, people are aware about climate change, about the necessity. They see if they cut the firewood, the deforestation will go on, which is quite visible in Rajasthan where I am. Then the process is initiated where you get that transition. And of course, that transition has to be accelerated because you deal with a mindset. And personally, on a personal remark, I found meditation very helpful to change the mindset and embark on new habits, because we deal also with old habits, and people have to adapt new habits. So I think 2-fold approach: education, availability of technology. Government, of course, has to help in a big way, and the whole society has to make a quantum jump, so to say, to embark on this new technology. It's a new lifestyle we have to embark. It's not only solar cookers, it's everything has to change in order to save the planet.
Thank you. You want to add to that, or it's fine? Yeah.
You mentioned faith-based organizations, so just to chip in that in India, everything is seen as sacred, and so the sun is particularly worshipped and seen as sacred. And I would sort of broaden it and say the whole of nature is sacred, just as human life is sacred. And so to be teaching people to take that energy is something that's actually very much part of the culture.
Thank you. And whilst we are talking on the faith-based community. I just have a message from one of our members. She's part of the Interfaith Liaison Committee to the UNFCCC. And they have made a declaration from all the interfaith community here at COP, and that will be handed over to UNFCCC on Thursday. And they have had a Talanoa dialogue gathering on the Sunday before COP started, where they gathered all the faith leaders to create a momentum, and they're also following the negotiations closely. So be sure the interfaith community is really active. Thank you. Any other questions? We have 5 minutes left, so I will just ask the panelists one question for them to have a final comment. It will be like maximum 1 minute each. But what is your personal next step, for your personal change to become even more inspiring role models and inspirational leaders in your field? So that's I'd like to hear from you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a program called Green Catalyst.
Yeah.
The young students of the various faculty, multidisciplinary, arts, commerce, science, engineering, climate change, and all. And we are spread out the message of our leaders that what they are believing and whatever traditional system is. So, because young students do not know. And the curriculum is also not focusing on the leaders and the environment. So that is why we are spreading out a message among the youth that what our leaders was follow and what was the lifestyle of them. And that is we are doing, and we are just creating a youth leadership with this our visionary leaders. Thank you.
Thank you. So Mahesh's next step is this side event this afternoon. So most welcome. It will be 16:45. So that's great.
My own thought is to simplify things as much as possible in my life, because I think that that's a very important step.
We're currently doing a couple of research projects on storage, so we're active further to look into technology, make it available for everybody, and all our findings of the last 25 years are also available, and we're happy to help people when they come to us. And on a personal basis, I'm meditating regular for inner peace and outer peace, for inner love and outer love, and I'm trying to intensify that meditation also because I feel it's a very useful tool for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if anyone wants to share their next step with us afterwards, we are available. And I also like to welcome everybody to an event we have this evening. It's called Healthy Mind, Healthy Planet. And it will be in a location very close to Queen Street train station. And it's at 7 o'clock. Wasistianti, Golo, and David Hamilton will speak. He's from Scotland. So if you want to know more, you can go on our website, and I think they will come up here on the slide soon, where you can read more about the work of Brahma Kumaris and also the work of Friends of the Environment from India. So with this, would you like to do this short reflection? Yeah, we have time for a short reflection. We finish with that to end this session.
I'll share my own thoughts in reflection and invite you to follow those ideas. Going within, I look at my thoughts, and as the speed of my thoughts slows down, I connect with the inner being, the spiritual being that I am, and I recognize that this inner being is a being of peace, a being of truth, of love, of joy, of purity. And in this awareness, this is how I see others, with a vision of their goodness also. And I hold the awareness that these qualities translate through into my words, my actions, and my life. Thank you.
Thank you. So I say thank you to our panelists and thank you for coming, and have a nice day, the rest of the day. Goodbye.